Hey, and welcome to map 2 of Goldeneye 007. This is Facility, and I think this may be one of the more iconic Goldeneye levels. We start in the air vent here. You can see there's two different directions we can go in. If we choose to go straight ahead, we actually get blocked off, but not before looking up that pit of horrors there. There's no actual way to get through there without using a no-clip cheat, so we're just going to head in the way we're meant to, which is this way. This brings us out over the toilets, and as you can see, we can actually take aim at this poor guard here who's taking a big number 2, and we just shot him in the head. So, you know, what a way to go. Now, there are some guards in the toilets here, and as we start sort of killing enemies, they will sort of start coming out. It's best to kill them as quickly as you can, because they will sort of flood out here if you give them a chance. We're going to take the back staircase here, because if we go down that main staircase, it's just going to alert all the guards. It's going to make things a bit messy. As you can see, there are guards actually patrolling this area. We need to kill this guard here in particular. He's holding the clearance key card that we actually need. But I'm actually going to show you a part of this level that really doesn't need to be here, but it's here and I love it. One of the things that they did when they were designing these levels, they tried to make them feel a bit more realistic. So there's a lot of spaces that you wouldn't really go to unless you're really kind of exploring around like I am doing here. But the idea is that you kind of get to see a bit more of this world. You get to sort of take it in, and you get to sort of feel what this level's like outside of like the beaten path. So for example, if we go in here, I think this in the movie, this is where Trevelyan's hiding 006, but here he's not actually here. We have to just kill these guards. Imagine these poor guards just sort of standing around and guarding these beakers. But yeah, we need to come in here, so you've got to be careful with that machine there. If you let that machine blow up, you won't be able to get through that door over there. And once you can't get in that door, you're pretty much stuck in this part of the level. So obviously I'm going to blow it up. It is on a timer here, so you don't want to be waiting around too long. Now the thing with these guards is that they're pretty easy to take care of. But what's interesting to note is that behind us, there's going to be a bunch of guards who spawn and start running through the level chasing us. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stand here. I'm just going to take these guards out as we kind of see them. And you can see those guards that I was mentioning there have started to appear. So the reason I'm doing this is because it's pretty bad to let the guards sort of chase you through the level, because they will just sort of cause a lot of problems for you. Now, one of the objectives is that we've got to meet up with a scientist called Dr Doak. He is the informer. And the thing is, every time you start up this level, he will randomly appear in one of several locations, and those locations can vary quite wildly. And as you can see, the other room he could appear in there, he can actually appear up here, but he hasn't. That poor scientist there, dreading for his life. So yeah, we need to find Dr Doak if we want to get into where 006 is. So that's what we're going to do. Now as we head into this area here, again, there's a door switch here that we actually have to operate, but we don't actually need to press that switch. If you fire your machine gun here, it'll alert all the guards on the other side of the door, and they'll come and open it up for you. And what I like to do, I actually like to stand here and take out all the guards as they sort of come into this room here. Now the reason I do this is because, as you can see, there are quite a lot of guards, and to be honest, I don't really want to have all these guys following us through the level. Plus we can always hide behind that wall there, which is really useful. But yeah, the first objective we cleared was actually getting in here. So you do need to get in here to clear the first objective of this mission. And as mentioned, it is entirely possible to lock yourself out if you accidentally find yourself blowing up one of these machines. And no, the tables don't blow up. But we're actually going to head in this direction, because over here there's actually a very interesting little area. For you see, this is actually like a security door, so you need one door to close for this one to open. Now, for many years I didn't ever actually come into here. the first time I came in here was actually when I was doing my 00 Agent run earlier this year, the no damage one, because this room's kind of unique in that there's actually some canisters in here that if you shoot those canisters there, you will get trapped in here because the room seals up and you're not allowed to kind of leave. And this is another area where Dr. Doak may appear. So it is actually worth kind of looking at all this extra detail here. Again, this is well out of the way where most players would go, but it's actually really fun to kind of come and experience this. I think there's a guard on the other side of this door, that's why it's not opening. There was. But yeah, if you shoot those barrels with the toxic gas in it, you can't leave this room. Like, you basically stay in there until you die, which is a pretty grim way to go if you ask me. So we're going to hit this security panel here and we're going to head through here. So as we head upstairs here, there'll be a bunch of guards sort of guarding this area. I mean, what else would guards be doing? But there's actually a bunch of scientists in each of these little laboratories here, and this is usually where you'll find Dr. Doak if you haven't found him so far in this level. There he is. It's time to leave, Dr. Doak. Cool. So, on Agent difficulty, which is the easiest difficulty, you don't actually need to get the decoder. You can actually just run through the level. But if you sort of play on Secret Agent or 00 Agent, you will need to get the decoder because you won't be able to get into the bottling room here. And sometimes, very rarely, I've seen Dr. Doak appear in there. Although, you have to be very lucky, in my opinion, to get him to show up there. So you have to select this as a weapon in from your watch. Now, before we head down to 006, I do want to explore this area a bit because there's so much extra detail in this area and there doesn't really need to be. Like, you pop your head in here, there's some guards. Now, these guards never alert unless you actually come in here. And you can wander into this room here. You can kind of look down through the caging here to see across the whole bottling room. So this doesn't need to be here. This area isn't even accessible in multiplayer. But it's just extra detail that adds layers to this world. And we're not quite done with this yet. For you see, when you come over here, you can see that there's like conveyor belts and there's the exit door. But if you come up the stairs here, there's yet another area that we can kind of have a nosy around. I'm pretty sure most players have never come up this area here. But again, it lets you look out across the bottling area, and honestly, like I said, it's really cool that they felt that they had to put this much attention to detail when 99% of players, I can guarantee, have never even looked in that area. But here's Trevelyan, 006, our comrade. Hello, Sean Bean. So here's my big tip for this: don't blow this up while he's here. If he's standing near these, don't bother. Half of everything is luck. And the other half? Movie plot. Fate. So, as you can see here, this is now a scripted event. What's funny is that you can get guards to chase you through the level, and they will sort of break the scripting here because they'll just sort of come over here and shoot you. So that's one of the reasons why you don't want too many guards chasing you. Now, what's also interesting is that if you have the golden gun here, you can actually shoot Oromov before he shoots Trevelyan, and Trevelyan will just sort of stay on his knees. So I'm actually going to blow this up here so that we know he's out of the way. There's actually two ways to leave this level. You can leave through the door over there, or you can come through the conveyor belt here, like in the movie, which is a really nice touch. And that is Facility. Honestly, Facility is a really well imagined level. There's a lot of choke points where enemies can get you. There's a lot of guards who'll chase you through the level if you're not careful. But I think the objectives push you through the level quite naturally, and there's a certain element of exploration in this level that I think really helps to elevate it. It's a really nicely realized level that captures the feel of the movie as well. So now we're going to do the speed run here to get the cheat, and this is actually on 00 agent difficulty. Hurrah! All I can really say is make sure you've got your strafe settings on, because you will be needing to strafe. Also, don't stand in front of this door, because the guards from the toilet up there will run down and they will shoot you, probably blowing up that machine, as you can see. So once you get into here, you just want to leg it. Now you're going to probably take some damage as you're doing all this, but oh lovely, he's here. So I always like to get Dr. Doak early in this level, because if you kind of leave it too late, in my opinion, I think that like it can just be a bit too much of a hazard. It can be really detrimental to the speed that you're trying to build. So now we can just focus on getting to the end of the level. And it also means that I've killed a lot of the guards back at the start of the level, so they won't actually be following us through the level here. Now you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to avoid the guards, but at the same time I'm trying to take as many out as I can. So we got to be careful here, because while we're doing this, we're going to be unarmed, and the guards will be running behind us, as you can see. So I have a feeling that the guards are going to come chasing us here. So you're going to see what happens when they sort of break scripting. You can see they're already coming down here. So these guys are not part of the scripting for the end of the level. So yeah, we need to get rid of these guys, because if we don't, they will cause problems for us. Oh, lovely. So what's happening here? Alex actually coming over to talk to us away from the canisters. So what that means is I don't actually have to wait for the scripting where he kind of goes and gets shot in the head. I can actually just kind of do this. Ah, did I just do that? Excellent. So now we can just leave the level here, and that is facility done on 00 agent difficulty. And we should have got the cheat. We did. So we had about 15 seconds, about 20 seconds there before we would have run out of time. Honestly, like, the cheat for this one is actually really difficult to get. Not only do you have to be really quick through the level, you kind of have to hope the RNG with Dr. Doak works in your favour, because if he's in that far off room way in the corner, you've got no hope. You really want him to be in that final lab area, or if like me you don't feel comfortable doing it there, you want him to show up somewhere where you can consistently go and check. And trust me, it will take multiple attempts for you to get it, because as you're making a good run, he's not going to be there and you're going to realise you've wasted too much time. So the margin for error on this one is not that great, and it's on 00 agent difficulty, so you're taking really bad damage throughout the level. But honestly, I really do think this level nails the Goldeneye aesthetic. I think it captures the feeling of the movie perfectly, and I think it does a really good job of tying the story in with gameplay. There's a lot of fun moments in this one, and I just really like this level. It's one of my favourites of this game, so I'm not going to stop praising it, I guess. I will say maybe Dr. Doak being RNG based is a bit much. I think that I wish there was a way you could sort of turn that off, but clearly it was designed that way. But yeah, let me know what you think of Facility. Do you like this one? Do you hate this one? Do you have fond memories of playing this one in multiplayer? Let me hear your stories in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.